This is the software, which may be installed on any computer or laptop. For the installation, there is one double-layered DVD and the product key. Once it is installed, the entire syllabus will be in the system. Internet is not required at all. For the 8th standard, 2 packages are there. One consists of math and science, and second is of social science and English, consists of history, geography, civics, English grammar and English writing skills. Once it is installed, this type of icon will be there on your computer screen. Just double-click the icon, and you will go to login page. While installing, you may create the ID as well as the password with your name. Internet is not required at all. Your ID and password will be saved with the software itself. Simply click Login. This software is available from 6th standard to 12th standard, but with one package, you will get the syllabus of only one standard. This is the demo ID, so syllabus of all the standards is there. Otherwise, whatever standard we will install in your system, only that will be there. As you are in the 8th standard, we will see the syllabus of 8th standard. This is 8th standard, math. In your math book, 16 chapters are there, same 16 chapters are here. Clicking on this folder, name of the chapters will be visible. Your first chapter is rational numbers, second is linear equations in one variable, third is understanding quadrilaterals. Whatever chapter you want to see, click on that chapter. The lessons will be there. Here is the name of the chapter, Understanding Quadrilaterals. In this chapter, 3 lessons are there. And first lesson is polygons. In each and every lesson, there is lesson, summary, examples, experiments and exercise. Clicking here, this lesson will start.
Welcome to the lesson on polygons. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to classify polygons based on the number of sides or vertices. Differentiate between convex and concave polygons, and between regular and irregular polygons. You will also be able to calculate the sum of the interior and exterior angles of a polygon. John and Alice, can you observe the patterns on the floor? These patterns are made of polygons.
Polygons? What are they?
A polygon is a simple closed figure made up of only line segments. Some polygons you already know are a triangle and a square. You can see that the floor designs are made up of quadrilaterals and octagons.
What is an octagon?
The octagon belongs to the family of polygons. It is a simple closed figure made up of 8 line segments. Come, let's learn more about polygons. First, we will learn how to classify polygons.
This way, this lesson is going on. Every now and then, you have to click here for going to the next slide. From here may go to the previous slide, and here is the content of this lesson. First was introduction 22 seconds, polygons 28 seconds. This is the content of the lesson. After completion or in between, if you want to revise any particular slide, you may click that slide and it will play again. In case of class, when teacher is teaching, if student will not understand, he may hesitate to tell to the teacher to repeat. But here, whatever he wants to repeat, he may repeat any number of times. Otherwise, clicking here, lesson will continue.
So, how many varieties of polygons can we think of? Many. Can we say? Yes. Let's see how we can visualize different polygons. Let's start with a simple polygon, a triangle. A triangle has three sides and thus is a three-sided polygon. If we cut the triangle at one vertex and add a side, it will become a four-sided polygon, which is called a quadrilateral. Again, if we cut the quadrilateral,
this way this lesson is going on. Anytime you may pause, play, move forward, move backward. Once this slide will finish, you have to click for the next slide. In between the lesson, there will be questions. Whatever portion of the lesson we have covered till now, based on that there will be 4 questions. These questions will be like a game and different type of games will be there. This time it is basketball. Now here is the question. These are the options. You will choose the right option. If the answer is right, it will go through basket and it will turn into green. This way 4 questions will be there. After 4 questions lesson will continue.
let us now learn what a diagonal of a polygon means.
This is the lesson.
So, a diagonal in a polygon is drawn connecting two non-consecutive vertices.
Lesson. Again questions. This time it is security check. Click on start. This is the question. These are the options. Choose the right option. Click submit. If the answer is right, barrier will open and car will go inside. If the answer is wrong, barrier will not open. This way again, after 4 questions, lesson will continue.
Now we will
कौन बनेगा करोड़पति style questions. Lesson, questions.
You have reached the end of this section.
Now this lesson is completed. Once the lesson is completed, there will be summary. Summary means the main theme of that particular lesson in the written format. By going through summary, you will get the revision of the lesson, or we may say ready-made notes are available based on the lesson itself. Then will be examples. These are the solved examples. It will be solved here step by step.
Find the angle sum of a regular hexagon and an irregular hexagon using the angle sum formula.
It will be solved here step by step.
We are given two polygons. Number of sides is the same, 80 degrees, where n.
This is example number 1. Then will be example number
Find
2, 3, 4. 4 examples are there. Then there is no experiment. As this is a math lesson, in case of science, whatever lesson of the science is having the experiments will be there. Then will be an exercise. This type of exercise will be there after each and every lesson. 20 questions are there. This is the first question. These are the options. You will choose the option and click for next. If the answer is right, question number will turn into green. If the answer is wrong, it will turn into red. Suppose you made a mistake or don't know the answer of a question, you may click here, view solution. In this exercise, solution of each and every question is with the question itself. With completion of this, lesson is over. Then you may go for next lesson. Similar way, all your math chapters are here. Here is the explanation of the chapters. There is another folder for the math, that is math solutions. Clicking here, same chapters will be there. We was going through this chapter. Behind the chapter in your book, these are the exercises. These are the textbook exercises. You may choose any of the exercise. Clicking here, this is the first question.
Find x in the given figure. Let's find out that.
It will be solved here as teacher is teaching on the board.
We know that sum of degrees
step
is
by
equal
step,
to 360.
handwritten writing of the teacher with the explanation. Anytime you may pause, play, move forward, move backward.
That x degrees plus 250.
This is exercise number 3.2, problem number 1A. Clicking here next. 1B, problem number 2. Otherwise, you may click here. All the problems of that exercise will be there. Whatever you want to see, click that. It will start teaching as teacher is teaching on the board. If you want to see any other exercise, click the exercise. All the problems will be there. Any other chapter, Click the chapter, all the exercises will be there. This way, each and every sum of each and every exercise of the entire math book is solved as teacher is teaching on the board. No class teacher, no tuition teacher will be able to teach each and every sum. So for the math syllabus and math solutions. Now we will see science. These are the science chapters. Again, whatever chapter you want to go through, for example, combustion and flames. Clicking here, this is the chapter, these are the lessons. Clicking here, lesson will start.
Ow! Why did you do that? You should never throw a burning matchstick in a dustbin. You might start a fire. I'm sorry, but who are you? My name is Blaze. I know a lot about fires and would like to share some information with you. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to define combustion, methods of controlling fire. Do you know what combustion is? When something burns? Well, you could say that, but there's more to it. Let me show you. This is a piece of magnesium ribbon. Watch what happens when I light it. Wow, it's burning really bright and there is so much smoke. That's right. The magnesium ribbon is reacting with the oxygen in the air to form magnesium oxide and produce heat and light. This chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen to give off heat is called combustion.
This way, lesson is going on. Here, student can see practically how the things are happening. This is not possible for the teacher in the school to teach like this. Again, click here for going to the next slide. Here, previous slide. Here is the content of this lesson. Clicking here, lesson will continue. In between the lesson, there will be questions. Clicking here. This is the question. These are the options. You will drag the box and put at the right place. If it is right, it will turn into green. Then next question will come. Again, after 4 questions, lesson will continue.
What happens if I light this matchstick and bring it near this wooden ruler?
See this.
Nothing happens. The matchstick dies out before the wood can catch fire.
That's right. Now, what happens when I light another matchstick and bring it near this piece of paper?
Of course, it catches fire right away.
Let me ask you one more question. Have you ever seen anything being deep fried in oil? If the oil in the pan is heated for a very long time, what do you think might happen to it?
I suppose it would catch fire.
You're right. Once the oil reaches a certain temperature, it will catch fire.
But Blaze,
This way, this is the lesson. Questions.
This brings us...
Now this lesson is completed. Once the lesson is completed, there will be summary. Summary means the main theme of that particular lesson in the written format. Then will be examples are not there. In this particular lesson, experiment is there. Clicking here.
By the end of this experiment, you will be able to classify substances into combustible and non-combustible.
Objective instructions. Here is the experiment.
Here is a collection of material like straw, matchsticks, kerosene, paper, iron nails, stone pieces and glass. Click the buttons to burn each material one by one.
You may choose any material. First we'll see wood.
Observe if combustion takes place. If it does, mark the material as combustible, otherwise Mark it as non-combustible.
So this is combustible. Well done. You have classified them correctly. One by one you may check all the materials. So this is one of the experiment. Same way, whatever lesson of the science is having the experiment, you will be able to do on your computer itself. Then will be an exercise. Again, like math, if your answer is right, question number will turn into green. If it is wrong, it will turn into red. If you don't know, may click here, solution will be there. With completion of this, lesson is over. Similar way, all your science chapters are here. Here is the explanation of the chapters. Apart from this, for the science also, there is another folder, that is science solutions. Clicking here, we was going through this chapter. Behind the chapter, there is an exercise. This is the first question of that exercise with the solution. Question number 2, 3, 4. So this way, all the question answers, filling the blanks, true and false, calculation, diagram, numerical, everything of the entire science book is answered. For the math, math syllabus, math solution. For the science, science syllabus and science solutions. Apart from this, for the math and science, we are having some unique tests also. Tests will be there only for the math and science. Here is the test. Clicking here, it is for the 8th standard science, 8th standard maths. Clicking on this plus mark, these are the chapters. First chapter, rational numbers. These many tests are there. Linear equation in one variable. These many tests are there. Whatever test you want to go through, click on the arrow. It says 30 minutes time, 20 marks, 10 questions. Clicking here, test will start. This is the first question. These are the options. Choose the right option and click for next. Choose the right option and click for next. Here you can't see whether you are right or wrong. First you have to complete the test and you have to complete within given time. This timer is there. If you will not complete within the time, the moment time will finish, system will close the paper and will show the result whatever you have done by the time. If you will complete within, click yes and you will get the results. Here you can see date of the test, time of the test, total marks, scored marks, percentage. Total questions answered correctly, answered wrongly, not answered. Now you will be able to access the answers. Question number 1 is right. Question number 2, we have made a mistake and here is the right answer. This is the right answer and here is the solution. Step by step solution will be there. Question number 3, solution. 4, 5, 6. You can check the answers as well as the solution step by step after completion of the test. And after that, if you want, may go for retake test. Any test, any number of times. Here, for each and every lesson, 2 tests will be there. For each and every chapter, 2 tests will be there. Lesson is a smaller portion of the chapter. Tests will be there only for the math and science. Apart from math and science, we are having history, geography, civics, English grammar and English writing skills. Here is history. These are your history chapters. Okay, we will see trade to territory. Clicking here, 4 lessons are there. First lesson is the East India Company. Clicking here, lesson will start.
Historians agree that the British Raj or the British reign in India effectively spanned from 1858 to 1947. It was in 1858 that the responsibility of managing the affairs of the Indian states got transferred to the British Crown. But do you know that the seeds for the growth of the British Raj were sown long before 1858? It all began with the setting up of the English East India Company.
So this is history. Anytime you may pause, play, move forward, move backward. All the controls will be in your hand. In case of history, there will be lesson, summary and exercise. Example experiments can't be there. These are the history chapters. Same way will be your geography. These are the geography chapters. Clicking on the chapter, for example agriculture, these are the lessons. First lesson.
Most of us like cookies. But have you ever wondered what they are made of? Depending on the flavor, cookies are made from specific ingredients such as fruits, nuts or chocolates. added to a basic mix of flour, butter and sugar. However, the key ingredient in all types of cookies is flour. And where does flour come from? Flour is made from wheat. And wheat comes from the crops grown by farmers. To grow any crop, such as wheat, a farmer
This is geography. So history, geography, civics will be like that, like a documentary movie. You need not to study. You can just look as a documentary movie. This is your civics. Then will be English grammar. Starting with sentences up to vocabulary, everything of English grammar is there. Whatever chapter you want to go through, click on the chapter. For example, clauses. These are the lessons. First lesson is clauses and introduction. Here is lesson.
Welcome to this session on clauses. In this session, we will learn about clause as a grammatical unit and its different types. You will also learn about conditional sentences. Before we begin learning about clauses, let us listen to a short story. One day, a mighty king went for a dip in a holy river with his 3 faithful servants. While the 3 servants chanted praises of the king, something terrible happened. After taking his bath, the king asked for his clothes. This is what the 3 scared servants could say. The replies given by the servants were all in the form of phrases. Now let us look at the 3 replies as a single combination. This combination has a subject and a predicate with a finite verb. Any combination of words that contain a subject and a predicate with a finite verb is called a clause. Let us get back to the story. Here is what the angry king had.
This way, this is English grammar lesson. This lesson is going on. In case of grammar, when this lesson will finish, there will be an activity.
Let us now do an activity.
Whatever you will learn with the lesson, you can practice. It says, drag and drop the clauses into their respective boxes. You will drag it like this. Main clause.
Yes, that's right.
And subordinate clause.
Yes, that's right.
For next question, click here. If you will make a mistake, it will say,
try again.
Otherwise, you may click here to see the answer. This way, approx 10 questions will be there. Then you may go for next lesson. Activity will be there. At the end, all the lesson will be revised in recap. So, this is English grammar starting with sentences up to vocabulary. Everything of English grammar is there. And after each and every lesson, activities are there. Then will be English writing skills. It is as per the syllabus. 8 standard writing skill consists of comprehension and diary entry, writing skills short, message writing, notice writing, email writing, writing skills long, biographical sketch, informal letters, formal letters, article writing, speech and debate writing. In case of writing skills also, after the lesson there will be activity. So we had seen math syllabus, math solutions, science syllabus, science solution, history, geography, civics, English grammar and English writing skills. Apart from this software is having some unique features. First feature is that when any of the lesson is going on, for example this cell structure, if you want to note down anything, click here, notes. The moment you will click notes, lesson will stop and notepad will open. You may write your own notes from the keyboard. After writing, save and minimize. Once you will save the notes, your notes are here. In the future, whenever you will go for the lesson, notes will be there. Just by double clicking you can access the notes. If you want to add or delete anything further, you may do that. Notes will be there with each and every lesson in a later date. If you want to see only the notes, need not to go to the lesson, simply click here notes. The moment you will click notes, all the notes will be visible on your screen. Then you may select a particular subject. Just now we have prepared for the 8th standard science. Choose 8th standard science. Only 8th standard science notes will remain on the screen. So this is the note. By double clicking you can access the notes. Again here you may add or delete anything further. While going through the notes, if you want to recall anything from the lesson, clicking here, lesson will start from that particular point. So while going through the lessons you can access the notes. While going through the notes you may see the lessons. Next feature is calendar. In this calendar, you may schedule any lesson or any test for a particular date. You may make your own study plan. If you want to schedule test, click test. Want to schedule lesson, click lesson. Then choose a subject. This is 8th standard civics. These are the chapters. Clicking on the chapter, here is the lesson. Just drag the lesson and drop at any date. We have scheduled this lesson for 9th of May. Similar way, you may schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lessons or tests. Once it is scheduled, if you will study, it will turn black like this. It means it is completed. If you will not study, next day it will turn into red, show as an overdue event. Any particular day, when you will log in the software, it will remind what you are supposed to study today, and if anything overdue, directly you may start that lesson or test. These are the features of this software. We had seen the math syllabus, math solution, science syllabus, science solution, history, geography, civics, English grammar, English writing skills with all the features. Thank you very much.